What if we took the names of the Straw Hat Pirates from One Piece and turned them into jingles? We can achieve this by using my letters to notes methodology, where we repeat the alphabet across the musical notes A through G. We'll take the name of a character, spell it out on the piano, and turn it into a melody. For example, this is what Luffy would sound like. Now, that sounded alright, but what we can do here is utilize the black keys and manipulate the notes to make them sound a little better. Let's add some chords to it, and now this is what Luffy sounds like. Now that jingle seems to fit his personality a lot better. Now that you get the idea, let's explore all of the names of the Straw Hat Pirates. We're going to utilize their full names, like Monkey D. Luffy, Nami, Vinsmoke Sanji, and so on. And at the end of the video, we're going to try to combine all of their names into one big theme song, so stay tuned for that. Now, from some of my previous character jingle videos, a lot of you have mentioned how these sound like those in-between songs and tunes and eye-catchers that you find in some anime shows like Full Metal Alchemist or One Piece. And since One Piece is my all-time favorite anime and manga, I felt like I had to do a video on this. So let's get into it, starting with Monkey D. Luffy. This is already so cool because it feels like it fits the vibe of the theme song, We Are. But now let's move on to Roronoa Zoro. So for Zoro, I decided to use the B flat to C chord here to kind of give the jingle some motion. I could have easily just gone with like the chords that matched the notes here, so doing like a D chord. And that sounds pretty cool too, but I wanted it to sound a little bit more epic, so I added the B flat and the C chord instead. And since his full name is kind of lengthy, it's a little easier to sort of work with and create a jingle out of. Unlike Nami here, who has a really short name with only 4 letters. But as you see, with creative interpretation, we're still able to create a catchy jingle for Nami, even though her name is so short. Same thing goes for Usopp here. Now, the fun thing I did here with Usopp is that I could have easily just made this into sort of a major key. Oh, and it sounds really nice. You know, Usopp is a pretty lighthearted character, very goofy, right? But since Usopp is infamous for his lies, I wanted to give him a deceptive cadence. So I decided to go for the E minor instead. I thought that fit his character pretty well. Now with Sanji, of course we had to go for like a jazzy swing for his. I think Sanji's jingle matches his eye-catcher the closest so far out of the ones we've explored. Now Chopper. I wanted to give him a no thoughts, head empty, one brain cell kind of vibe. Here's what it sounds like. Do you think that fits for Chopper? I think it fits for Chopper. But to transition into something a little bit more alluring and mysterious, here is Nico Robin. I'm curious to see if you guys like the jingles that I'm creating for these characters, or if you think the eye-catchers from the show match their personalities more. Let me know in the comments, I'd love to know. The eye-catcher that might be the hardest to beat is Franky, but let's give it a try. Of course, we tried to go for that high-energy, macho kind of style that really fits Franky, but I personally think the eye-catcher might be better than what I came up with here. But with the letters to notes methodology, this is technically the Franky theme. Now, I know Cuddy Flam is his actual name, but I wanted to go with his more familiar name, Franky. This is going to fit very well in the full theme song that's coming up in just a bit here. But before we get to that, we still have 2 more Straw Hats to explore, the first one being Brook. Now, of course, we had to make Brook sound spooky, and I wanted to give him this sea shanty kind of vibe, so I went for that sort of 3/4 time signature. Throwing in that add 2 in the D minor chord there really spookifies Brook's jingle. Now, last but certainly not least, we have Jinbe. Since he's a pretty serious and powerful character, I wanted to try to portray that in his jingle here. So, which jingle did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. But now, it's time to get into the full theme song. You're going to notice that I actually made some slight changes to some of their jingles to try to match them better with each other. Naturally, I had created the jingles first and then tried to craft them into one theme song, so we had to manipulate the notes a little bit further to make sure they all matched within the same key and within the same vibe of each other. I actually live streamed the process, and my chat was not only able to experience the process of me creating the song, but they got to put some input as well. They gave me ideas of different vibes we can go for, what styles match the personalities of each character, and we even decided to make each Straw Hat jingle played by a different instrument. There are a lot of layers to this song. It was an awesome time, and I definitely plan on doing more stuff like this in the future. So if you want to be a part of the process, feel free to tune into my live streams over on Twitch and on YouTube. But without further ado, here is the Straw Hat Pirates theme, utilizing my letters to notes methodology. Enjoy! And there it is, the Straw Hat Pirates theme song. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I usually like to make songs in a jungle rock style, but I also make a variety of other genres and styles for other content creators and businesses. If you want to level up your audio branding and have your own theme song made for your own content, click the link in the description below and I can easily make that happen for you. If you want to see more of my character jingle content, click on this video next, where you can watch me turn all of the Kongs from the Donkey Kong series into jingles. Thanks for watching.